Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Petersfield High teacher dies day after 50th birthday. Petersfield High School in Westmoreland has been plunged into mourning following the passing of its modern languages teacher, Charmaine James, who died one day after celebrating her 50th birthday. James died suddenly on Sunday evening at hospital. James, who taught Spanish and English, is said to have been an educator at the institution for 30 years. Following news of James' passing, the school is closed to students. However, reporters were informed by a source that teachers for the morning shift were present at the school. The source said James was a part of the afternoon shift. The teachers at the institution will be getting grief counseling, the source confirmed. Gun incidents forced ISA to discuss security at football matches. The Inter-Secondary School Sports Association says it will be paying more attention to security at football matches following two incidents over the weekend. President Keith Wellington said the incidents have heightened concern and security is something the group will have to work or look into. On Saturday, a man was held to an illegal firearm after leaving at the Costa Cup football match between Alphonso Davis, formerly Spalding High, and Homo Technical in Spalding, Clarendon. On Sunday, 3 people were shot dead and 6 others injured at a football match in Spring Valley, St. Catherine. I wasn't aware of the situation in Spalding, but I would have heard of the situation in Spring Village, and it raises concern because we have a culture of copycatting, so it is something we will have to discuss. We have to pay close attention to security at games, Wellington told reporters. The ISA president explained that security is the preliminary runs of schoolboy football games is controlled by the individual schools, who are to make arrangements as they are responsible for the well-being of students and patrons. We have an arrangement with the JCF that at least 2 uniformed police officers should be at the gate, he said. Obviously, depending on the size of the game and the venue, the arrangements are made locally. Wellington said all schools basically have metal detectors, so it should not be too much to ask them to do searches at the entrance of their venues. Meanwhile, George Henry, principal of Alphonso Davis High, said the school will now step up its security at schoolboy football matches. Going forward, we will be using our metal detectors and will search all spectators entering the venue, especially those who are not students, he revealed. Henry, who is also a member of the ISA executive, confirmed that last Saturday match security personnel were at the gate and policemen were at the venue. He said random searches were conducted. Jamaica reports 1 new monkeypox case. The Minister of Health and Wellness has reported 1 new case of monkeypox, bringing the country's total number of infections to 13. The case was reported between September 12 and September 18, the year with the infected person being Kingston and St. Andrew, the ministry said. Opposition Senator accuses the JLP of being unoriginal. Opposition Senator and Chala spokesperson on education Damon Crawford is accusing the Jamaica Labour Party of having no ideas of its own. He states that small minds are trying to fix big problems. He boldly made these assertions while addressing the People's National Party annual conference. Meanwhile, the party's General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell sought to make it clear that there is a stark difference between the PNP and the JLP. And the president of the People's National Party Youth Organization, PNP-YO, Senator Gabriela Morris, notes that many young people are feeling hopeless and are being treated unfairly. However, she is urging them not to give up their power of voting. Senator Morris is giving the assurance that the PNP stands ready to make real changes for young people. Spring Village community traumatized by a deadly shooting at football match. Hundreds of people, including children, have been left traumatized by Sunday's deadly shooting at a football match in Spring Village, St. Catherine. A spectator recounted to reporters that chaos erupted after the gunman opened fire with an automatic weapon. He said he watched as his children's mother was shot in the neck. She is among 6 injured. Had it been for his quick thinking to tie his shirt around her neck, she might have been among those who died on the attack. But at the same time, she a cry for her kids them, so me tie it on her neck and put her upon her face and I run up and down to get the kids them while the whole battlefield coming like one mad ant's nest, just a run up and down, he recalled. The man said his family is shaken by the incident. 3 persons, 2 men and a woman, were killed. These are Jerome Skrull, who the police say was the target, as well as Tamara Eubanks and a man known only by his alias Corey. Police have said some of these were injured or employees of Jamaica Boilers. Reports are that gunman was challenged by 2 off-duty police officers and a licensed firearm holder before he escaped. The police returned to Spring Village on Monday as investigations continue into the incident. They also joined other supporting groups in offering counseling to the families of the victims. Executive Director of the Spring Village Development Foundation, Randy Finnicky, said all 3 deceased were from the community. He said residents are mourning the loss of life and are shocked because it could have been them. They are also in disbelief that something like this could have happened in the community. Mr. Finnegan said extensive counseling will be required as well as other resources to assist the community after the traumatic incident. He noted in particular a 14-year-old boy, CJ, for whom he said long-term support would have to be provided. Following the shooting, he recounted, the teen just took a chair and sat there over his mother, who perished in the attack. ACP Mackenzie says back-to-school traffic has been fairly smooth. Head of the PSTEB, ACP Gary Mackenzie, says the expected traffic during the first 2 weeks of schools being reopened across the island has been fairly smooth. ACP Mackenzie says his unit took notice of motorists leaving home much earlier, but in anticipation of this, preparations were in place. He says that by the end of the first week, the corporate area was heavily saturated by vehicular and pedestrian traffic. He said the protests in St. Thomas and reduction of buses due to withdrawal of service in Lawrence Tavern and Stone Hill caused problem with movement of some commuters, but this did not increase traffic issues.
We saw that by the end of the first week, especially the Friday, that there was increased volume of pedestrian and vehicular traffic. And so last Monday, we saw a full rollout, I would say, of students. And so there was some amount of traffic, especially in the corporate area. Traffic was heavy, but I have to say that there was no obstruction. And whenever we have rainfall, people tend to delay a bit and drive much slower. And so we had some issues there. But what we aim to do, we have studied the patterns, and one of the things that we will do is to be at all the choke points. What we call choke points is are areas where we have outlets of traffic. For example, out by 6 miles, Marcus Garvey Drive and those places, Constant Spring going up, we want to keep those areas very clear so that we will have the traffic flowing out. Not true that they are unsupervised. No junior police officer is out there unsupervised. So what you will find is that you may have a senior person with 2 or so junior officers. If I am at a point as a senior person and an officer is across the road from me, I am supervising him. So if you pass and just look at the young officer on the other side of the road, that can't be that he's not or she's not supervised.
CAC encouraging parents to keep children safe. The Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC, is encouraging parents to prioritize the safety of their children, especially with the resumption of face-to-face classes. In a release on Monday, the CAC shared that for parents whose children are going out to school for the first time, it is imperative that guardians play their role in helping to keep their children safe. Giving some tips on how parents can ensure their children's safety, Director of Communications at the CAC, Latoya Halstead, said simple things like not writing children's names on the outside of their personal belongings can go far way in helping to keep them out of harm's way. Do not write your children's name on the outside of their personal items. Instead, we encourage you to teach them their names, address your names, and ensure that there is a contact number that they can call, she said. She also expressed that as the country continues to go through the rainy season, children should be taught when to move and where to go during heavy showers. If you know that you're coming to floods when it rains, speak to your children about where they can go, what they can do, who they can speak with, and where they can seek help as soon as there's an issue. Please do not leave your children up to their own devices. You are the wiser ones, and you are there to guide them, Halstead said. We are encouraging you to have a plan and to ensure that your children know what this plan is, because we really and truly do not want to see our children suffering, she continued. Halstead also used the opportunity to highlight that for the past 2 years, many students have not been out in the school space, and so it is difficult for them to reacclimatize to the social society. When we are talking about reacclimatizing, we are also talking about the fact that many children have been doing a lot of gaming. So in terms of trying to get their heads back into the books and back into the school space, we are encouraging our parents, once your child has a smart device, please put an app on the device to monitor their activities, she said. To monitor a child's activity, parents may utilize parental control app and test apps and play games before their children use them. Parents may also set up shared Google or Yahoo accounts, which will forward all emails to a parent to monitor contacts and communications. Halstead advised that in addition to monitoring children's activities, parents should set limits for their children's internet time. I'm encouraging you to find a way to cut off the Wi-Fi, because if they don't have it, they have no choice but to be off that device. Have somebody teach you how to shut off your modem at the particular time. That way, you are better able to help your child to be the best that they can be, she shared. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell